Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Behind the Group podcast. I am DJ Keo.
And I am Basil Barrington, and we are back with another series review. Today, we are going to take a look at Devil May Cry. This is a Netflix series. Thus far,
Mm.
IMDb is giving it a 7.7. What do you think about that, Keo?
I think that's fair. That's pretty close to what I would rate it. it's a it's an interesting anime because it's built around a video game,
I
or
didn't know
it's
that,
from the
until you sent me all that information. I was like, oh, this is a video game. I didn't know that.
yeah. So it's Capcom. It's I think it was supposed to be a spinoff. The original game was supposed to be a spinoff of Resident Evil, and they turned it into this whole other thing.
Mhm.
And yeah, like it's fun. Like the anime is fun. It's good animation, like how it's designed. The fight scenes were decent. They're actually pretty good. Story is ludicrous at best.
Yeah.
Every anime you watch, you're like, what are these guys smoking right now?
I mean, something was
Like, let
going
me get
on,
high with
man.
you.
There was a party or something because I mean, you know what else was pretty interesting about this joint? This is what I really like about this.
Mm,
Around the fifth episode, they started
mm.
doing mixed media. So they were mixing kind of like a 3D style with this like totally different um other anime
Yeah.
style. And I was like, wow, this looks like, I mean, they even put it in 720 for a little bit and then they took it out and put it into 1080p. And I was like, oh, they're mixing like different medias and whatnot. I'm like, this is kind of cool. I never, like I told you,
Yeah.
man, I never knew that this was a video game. I wasn't really into video games coming up,
Mhm.
but we were saying this offline. We reviewed Demon City, the actual film that was released on Netflix. We watched the original Demon City anime film that's on Amazon.
Yeah.
And
We're
we,
not connected to each other.
right. And we were like, well, is the original film, is the film from Netflix, is that actually based on like the anime series or loosely based?
Mhm.
And then we were like, we didn't see any demons. We didn't see any realms or anything like that, right? Like the original Demon City
Yeah.
like movie. So I'm watching this
Mhm.
here like Devil May Cry, and I'm like, this is Demon City. This is
Yeah,
Demon
it's
City.
basically the same premise.
This is Demon City.
It's
I
literally
mean,
similar, yeah.
in its truest form, because like you have two realms. You have the demon realm and you have the human
Mhm.
realm, right?
Yeah.
The demons are trying to get over into the human realm so they can destroy it, but there's a
Mhm.
barrier there and everything else. That's Demon City. And I'm like,
Yeah, basically, yeah.
I don't know if these guys ripped that off or if this was like, something that was in a video game where you had like these a demon realm and they were like,
Mhm.
fighting demons in this like video game. I don't know. But the actual series itself, I thought was pretty cool. I like the animation style. I love it when
Mhm.
you see these sort of anime series, definitely when they come out of like South Korea or like Japan, and like the lead
Mhm.
character is like this tall person, good looking, white hair, just like the guy is like a
Dude, if your
teenager
hair's
with white
spiky,
hair.
you're like, "Okay, we're cooking here.
We're
This
cooking
guy's gonna
here.
be a good
Like,
leader."
oh, and you gotta have a cape on. If you don't have a cape
Yeah,
on
he's
or,
got some kinda thing to blow
a
in the
trench
wind, like,
coat or
yes,
something, I'm like, okay, this is cool. I'm
and he
watching
needs a
it.
sword.
Yeah.
He needs a sword,
And
right?
this was like, and Devil May Cry, this was kind of cool. It's 8 episodes. These are short bangers, 30-minute episodes, right? So
Like,
I like,
25 minutes,
right,
man, 20
exactly.
something
So I
minutes,
like
yeah.
whiz through these joints, right? And I'm like, okay, this is pretty
Mhm.
good. The reason why I was interested as I was watching it, it kept my interest because again, of the Demon City sort of like storyline. This is Demon City, the
Mhm.
storyline. This storyline is straight Vic from Demon City. That's what I think. What do you
Well, I
think?
mean, the original anime came out in '80s, like '86, '87, something like that,
Hmm.
and the video game came out in 2000, I think.
Yeah.
But
So,
it's PlayStation 2 days, that's when it came out.
hmm,
So,
yeah.
like, it's been a minute. Like, it's
What do you
very,
What do
very
you
much
think
been
about
bit,
the
but, like, the
fighting?
anime was first. It was a lot
What do you
first.
think about the fighting?
I liked it, man. The animation style for how they were doing the fighting was fluid.
Hmm.
Like, it was fast. It didn't look like, oh, these guys, well, it was all computer based, so, like, you could do a lot of stuff faster than you could draw it by hand.
Yeah.
But, I liked it, man. I definitely like how it looked, like, visually, like, it looks good. And You know what? Whenever I'm watching anime, I'm always watching to see what's happening in the background. You know, like when people are moving in the front,
Yeah.
the main characters,
Mhm.
what's happening in the background?
Yeah.
Because usually everybody's like this, like
Yeah,
they're just stiff.
exactly.
You know, like you spent time animating this thing or whatever. So like there's some stiff moments in here, but like a lot of times most of the things is moving on the screen. So it made it look more realistic. But it was good, man. Visually, I thought it was good. I liked it. I like that style of anime anyway. So I don't know if we can count this as anime, but I like that style of cartoons,
Yeah,
I should
yeah.
say.
Animation, yeah, exactly. You know, the story was really good. I mean, like again, it's
Mhm.
first of all, they took this is what the series is about. We got that up
Yeah.
front, There's no
Yeah, yeah, they
guessing
said
about
what it was. This is what's happening here.
exactly. There's no guessing about that, right? And the story
Mhm.
sort of moved along. You had some, this guy was pretty he was brashy, he just knew who he was. So, he had a
Yeah,
lot of
Dante's a badass,
he has
man.
a lot of
Dante's
jokes
badass.
and everything like that, but I wasn't mad at that. I'm okay with that.
Mhm.
And just
Yeah,
the conversations with like what is it, Darkcom or Darkcon,
yeah.
those
Who
folks.
is Batman, by the way? That's Kevin Conroy that did the voice. I was like, "Yo, I know that
I'm
voice."
looking at it and I'm
So
like,
my question
wait a
is,
minute,
how long
really?
ago did they record this? Because he died not too long ago. So when did they record
Wow,
this?
that's a good
This
point,
ain't
man.
bad. They must have been sitting on this for a minute.
That
Because
is a
when did they
good
record
point.
this?
And like if they were sitting on it for a moment, why wasn't it released? I mean, like, why didn't you
Well, I mean,
release
the
it?
animation probably took a while to do it, but like he died 2022.
Wow. Okay.
And it's 2025 this kid, so how long did it take to do the animation and get this thing done?
Well, a lot of times what you can do is, if you get someone's voice, you can AI that joint. You know what I'm saying?
I hope they didn't do that to Kevin Conroy,
You
man.
can
I had too
AI
much
the you
respect
can
for him.
AI the voice. All you have to do is speak into like a AI, and then it recognizes your voice, and then the algo,
Yeah.
starts creating things that sounds like your voice, and it's pretty on point too.
I mean,
Voice
you could
recognition
definitely
is
the
pretty
sky's the
good.
limit today, but
Yeah.
like I hope that he was alive when he did this. I hope that.
Let's just say they
I'm
were
a
like,
big fan of Kevin Conroy, man.
mm,
It's Batman.
they may have been like, yo, you know what? We know you're going through some stuff, but if you're not around before this is released and we need some additional vocals,
Some pickups.
is
I
is it
hope not. I
okay
don't
if
want
we
to even think
use
about that.
AI? We'll give you an extra like 10 G's or something like that. You never know, right? You never know.
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
so so they had the ability to go through these like portals to go to the other side, to go to the demon realm, right? And I'm just
Mhm.
like, okay, so this is something. So if they're saying that there was what is it, Sparta or yeah, Sparta, if he created this
Yeah.
barrier so that the demon realm cannot, go into the human realm, right? These
Mhm.
portals, I mean, they opened up and gave you the ability to walk into the demon realm. So I mean,
Mhm.
why are you like fighting to actually, break this barrier between the demon realm and the human realm when you
That's
have these portals that all these demons can like come through like they did. So I
what
don't like what's the
so, like
difference?
that's the convoluted storyline of
Yeah.
what his real purpose was because it didn't. You're right. On paper, it doesn't make sense,
Yeah.
and I think it's just one of those things of like, he's just a bad guy. Get over it. Like don't worry about it. He's a bad guy. I think that's what they're trying to do because on the storyline doesn't make sense because he could make a thing to open it up and get through, and then like initially he's like, well, these guys are refugees. We want to help these poor demons over here that are trying to get out. They're coughing because it's toxic down there, so we got to get these guys out of here. We're bringing over your world. It's nice and cleaner. But like it takes a turn to like, well, you don't want to do that at all. So what's the point? Like it doesn't seem like that's the real argument for why they did it. I don't know. It's convoluted anime stuff. The jibbity jabber anime stuff. You just let it be. It is what it is.
and
You just let it be.
and one of the things that like, and I don't like this at all. So like if you're like if you're the bad guy, if you're the villain
Mm,
in a show or a
mm,
series, right? You're the bad guy. You're the villain. What you do is you kill
Mhm.
people. You don't have to talk. You don't have to like laugh. You don't have to like, torture
Yeah.
someone.
I
This is what you do. Just kill a person and it's done with. It's over with. You know what I'm saying? It's just like the
yeah.
rabbit was just like laughing and everything else. I'm like, can someone get rid of this fool? And then come to find out, like, yes, they thought they got rid of him, but looks like we may have a
Mhm.
sequel because he's not dead. You know what I'm saying? So what's going on with that? It's just like it's just like, okay, so you have the power of they were calling it a hybrid. So basically a demon with human
He's
DNA.
got demon blood in there,
Right,
yeah.
exactly. Right. So it's
Yeah.
just like, okay, but you do have some humanity because you do have human
Mhm.
DNA.
That the story of the White Rabbit, what his grandiose plans were, it did make sense, all right?
Was
And
that
I think this
was
the
that in the
one of the
video
problems
games?
were
Was that rabbit in the
no
video
mistake.
games?
Yeah, well, no, he wasn't in the video game. This is
Okay,
a new
okay.
character. I
Mm,
don't listen, I've only played 2 games, so I don't really know what's going on before and after, right? I have no idea, but I can't remember him in any of the games I played. But, like, um, I think the one of the issues with, like, movies and TV shows are they're always trying to make the villain relatable, and so, like, somebody that you
no.
like, or he's got a
Mhm.
noble reason for why he's the bad guy, and, like, we just need bad guys. We don't
Yeah.
I don't need an explanation for, "Oh, I stubbed your toe in 1984, so now you're coming back to haunt everybody."
Right,
Like, no, man. You're just a bad guy. Where's
Yeah.
bad guys out there? Sociopaths. Like, they're just bad people.
Bad
I'm
guys.
tired of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this the one down thing that annoyed me about the show. There's every movie, every TV show that's out right now. There's always a villain who's conflicted, and they have a good reason for why they're the bad person in the first place, and
Mhm.
whatever, yada yada yada. I don't. It annoys me. Just make somebody bad and call it a day. Like, let's just
That's
do that.
it,
You're a bad guy. Call it a day. I don't need the extra sauce of your grandmother forgot to give you extra lentils in your soup, and so
Right.
now you're evil. Like, I don't
And
need all that.
right.
It's
And
extra for no reason.
it's always like a vendetta too. It's just like
Mm,
something was done to this villain. And now they're like on a
yeah,
mission to, destroy everything. And it's just like,
yeah.
okay,
Like,
okay, you destroyed everything. Now what? Okay, you came and you
mhm.
brought all the villain, you brought all the demons
You're
into
bringing demons over here,
right,
man, bro. You don't think everyone's gonna be like, nah, not on my watch.
right.
Like, you don't think that's gonna happen?
And so you're going to bring them over, they're going to destroy everything, and then you're not going to have anything. They obviously the demons are eating each other too because, the rabbit was like, "Hey, you know what? I have a use for you." And then he started eating his like own
That's
brethren.
bonkers, man.
It's
That's
just like, come
yo.
on.
We have to have a talk with these guys over here in Japan, man. We gotta have a chat. Do you guys need some hugs? Like, what's
For
happening here?
real, man.
Like,
Listen, we were talking about we briefly touched on Jung E and how what that
mhm.
movie was all about, what that series is all about. It was basically a
That's a wild
scientist,
Korean movie,
a
man. That's
female
a wild Korean
scientist
movie.
who took her daughter, made her daughter
Mhm.
into a robot, and then this robot was being sexually abused by all the
Bro,
scientists
like, we
over and
okay,
over
you're
again, and then they replicated her over
Asia.
and over again.
Asia, we need an intervention with y'all,
Yeah,
right?
for real.
We
Come
gotta
on.
just sit down like, "Hey, what do you guys need? You need some tea? Well, what do you need? Like,
Yeah.
let's talk this out. What is going on here, man?"
I
And
like
then
the
the thing is, though, it's a
mhm,
lot. It's not like it's a couple because over here, Western movies, there's one weird movie that's like an A24 movie, and you're like, "What the hell?"
right,
But
exactly.
generally, movies are basically sane.
Mhm.
Asia has some wild stuff, right? I'm not complaining. Some stuff I love, but like, wow, man, wow, you guys are on another one, all
Yeah,
right?
they're like,
That's,
it's just like, and listen, there's some realism to like some of the things they talk about when they, when they go into like apocalyptic storylines and things like that,
Mhm.
and it's just like, how did this happen? And it's just like, yes, that actually can happen, or
Absolutely,
it
man.
actually is happening. So I don't know what
Mhm.
sort of they have their finger on a pulse somehow because a lot of the futuristic things they create are actually
They
happening
coming out. It's coming true
or
right
is
now.
happening right now, and these are things that they may have spoken about 10 years ago, 20 years ago, and then
Mhm.
they make movies about this stuff and it's like, "Oh, that's about to happen in the next 2 or 3 years." So we know all about that. So yeah, there's
Yeah.
some realism to some of the stuff that the Asian people are putting out, the Asian creators like in Japan, South Korea, China is getting into
Mhm.
the game now. The China, the China patina is a little different, but I still like it. I want to get into some more because I like where they're going. I think that, you know,
Mhm.
the thing that glues the world together is art. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right?
I love watching this stuff from all
Right.
these other cultures,
You know what
man.
I'm
I
saying?
really love
And it
it.
doesn't really matter
Since I was a kid.
like which country you come from or which leader you have. You're an artist and you're creating like fabulous art from like China, from
Mhm.
Russia, from Japan, from Australia. The French are going crazy. The Belgians are going crazy. The Germans are going crazy. Everyone is
Mhm.
making, if you really think about it,
Mhm.
if you look at all these other countries, right, outside of America, all of these
Mhm.
other countries are making movies and TV series that are just like out of this world. And what are we doing
Yeah.
here in America? We're making the
To
same old
redo it.
thing. The
Hot
same,
garbage in
the same
America,
old
man.
thing.
Yo, it is so
A
lazy over
rom
here. It's not
com. It's
funny.
it's crazy. Anime,
It's
forget about
sad.
it. The dopest anime I've seen that's American, thus far is I think Terminator Zero and also you know, the joint that Zack Snyder did.
Yeah,
But
but like, yeah,
yeah,
I would. Well, I mean, like, he made it with somebody who's Filipino, so like, it's still Asian influence.
right,
Like,
that's
I
true.
it's I don't know, man. Like America's animation style and stuff like that. Like I remember stuff from the '80s, like growing up as a kid. Like there's some good stuff back then, but like now it's
Where
just
is it?
garbage, man.
Yeah.
There's no effort. There's no creativity and there's no effort into it. Like especially because you can do all this stuff on computers now, so you don't need the drawing by hand and that art craft and stuff from that. You could do it by computer. There's people doing it, but not mainstream. I would say that's the problem here. The people that would make it to Netflix and WB Warner Brothers,
Hmm.
whatever, they're not. It is just not up to par. Unfortunately, it's a shame.
I will say this. You know, I would watch a lot more South Korean or like Japanese anime, but there is
Mm,
one thing that is prevalent in all of these sort of like anime series, right? It's the
mm.
screaming girl. You always have a screaming girl. It's always a screaming girl. Always a screaming girl. Let
Yeah,
me say
that's
that
the
again.
thing.
There is always a screaming girl in these anime series. And it's just like, oh, can we get
In
through her?
school, going
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
it's always, always.
with the same voice. And it's just like, I don't make, again, that's a cultural thing, like for them out there.
Mhm,
Not here. You know what I'm
mhm,
saying? Not in North America. So it's just like, I don't understand. But,
mhm,
Devil May Cry, it was pretty tight, man. I have to admit, I was like pretty impressed with the joint. It looked great. The fight
mhm.
scenes were dope. The storyline, um, I thought the storyline was pretty. It was pretty tight. It was pretty tight. It
Well,
flowed
it
for sure.
it definitely moves along because
Yeah,
it's like 8 episodes, but they're only half of their 20 minutes each.
yeah,
So
really.
basically,
Hmm.
this is like a 3-hour
That's
movie
it.
almost.
You know.
Like it's not that long.
Yeah.
Could split it in half and it been fine. It could be 2 movies in itself, but, like, it moved along, and I think that helped because if it wasn't dragging where there's sections you're like, "Oh god." Even, like, the flashback episode, I think it was episode 5 was, like, the flashback one.
Yeah.
Even that was moving along. That was interesting. I'm like, "Yo, what's going on
And that was
here?"
when they
Because it's all
introduced
the 2
a totally
stories.
different media. It was just like it wasn't like it was a 720 media or like a darker, like almost like a
Mhm.
grayscale joint. I was like, I love that mixed media that they did right there with 5 and 6.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
was pretty dope.
you telling both stories of how the hero and the villain were created and
Yes.
what their motivations are. Like that
Hmm.
was good, man. Both of those, it was interesting. Like it's compelling when you're watching it. Like you want to see more and you want to see how this turned out.
Yeah.
So yeah, usually when it's a self-contained prequel episode or a show, this episode that's trying to show you this is what happened before. It's boring. It's like walking and talking. Like stuff was going. Basically, I don't even think there's that much talking during that episode at
No,
all.
none.
And it was moving. Like visually, it looked stunning. With the
Pretty
it was like
dope.
it's one part was black and white,
Hmm.
some was color, but like this low res color, but like it looked cool. But visually, like it was really beautiful. And that's the thing. The design and the style for this anime was great.
It was
Like I
pretty
liked
great.
it.
Yeah.
I really liked it. So if they made another one, I'd watch it. Like
I think they
absolutely I'd
are
watch
going to make another one. They have
it.
to, just based on how it ended. They're basically saying, you know, the rabbit is still
Mhm.
alive, you know, so we know there's gonna be a sequel. However, we
Dante's
probably
brother's alive. That's the problem. And
exactly.
Dante's brother's coming.
Yeah. And they showed him too. They showed him too. However, we know
Mhm.
that if there is a sequel, we're not gonna get it until like maybe 2 years from now, because that's just
Bro,
how it is.
if they made this thing back when Kevin Conroy was alive, that's 3 years ago.
Yeah.
That's a long time,
It's a
man,
long
and
time,
even
man.
with computer animation and stuff like that, that's a long
It's
time
crazy.
for this thing to come out.
It's
I don't
crazy,
know when
man.
we're gonna get another one unless they already started. They did 2 already.
Let's
They
hope
did
they
2
did it that
seasons
way, man,
together.
because I would like to see a sequel for this.
I don't wanna wait 5 years for another
No,
sequel, man.
no.
Like, I
I
don't
think
want
in 2 years
I'm not gonna care
I
that.
wouldn't be interested. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm not gonna care by that time. Like,
Ex-
it's gotta be soon, real soon.
Yeah, exactly. We are talking about Devil May Cry. This is available on Netflix. Keo, what are you going to rate this series?
I give it an 8, man. I liked it. It has the anime sensibilities of the screaming girl and yada annoying characters. Like that who's the guy, the broker? That every time I saw him on screen, like, oh god, like just hurry up. Like that, there's characters that just drive you crazy. You can't get away from that. That's just part of the thing. That's part of the charm of anime.
Mhm.
But like the visually, it looks stunning. Like it looks amazing visually, and the action is top notch. The action's really good, and the story is so convoluted and ridiculous, but it's fun. Like that's all you can ask for.
Yeah,
It's fun. You're not gonna watch this and be like, oh god, we got 4 more episodes left. Like you're not watching this. This
yeah.
thing streams by so quickly. So that I give it an 8, man. I liked it.
You know what? I'm also going to give it an 8. This is a solid 8 for real. This series is a solid 8. It's going to give you everything. It's going to
Mhm,
give you visually, it looks beautiful. The fight scenes are bananas, right? The storyline is
mhm,
dope. The storytelling is sick. The movement, the way the film moves is kind of dope. Um,
mhm.
I like you know, again, it seems like there were a lot of different elements from different places that were placed in here. Now, I was like reading about the writers and everything. One of the writers worked
Mhm,
on Yata Yataku, it's another anime joint, right? And yo,
mhm.
the armored uniforms they had on, those are the same armored uniforms they had on in this film, in this series. So I'm like, okay,
Oh
they're taking
yeah,
stuff
okay,
from other things, right? So I was like doing
yeah,
some research because I wanted to know if these creators had any affiliation with Demon City, the live action joint, and also Demon City, the film, and they do not. But
yeah. I didn't think so.
they do have connections to a lot of other like anime series as well. So, but
Mhm,
again, this is a solid 8. We both gave it an 8. Go check it out. It's a series. It's 8 episodes. These are shorties, like 30, 20, 25 minutes long. 8
mhm.
episodes. You can like just whiz through this in a weekend. Well, there you have it. Thanks for checking out another episode of the Behind the Groove podcast. I am Basil Barrington.
I am DJ Keo.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And until next time, peace.
All right.